Good morning. I am joined here today by, can I call you a friend?
Yes, you may. Absolutely.
Wonderful. We have become friends.
Yes.
Dr. Tiffany Powell, who is the CEO and founder of Dr. Tiff Speaks Consulting. And Dr. Tiffany is going to be featured on our upcoming HR Hotspot. And we're so excited to have you speaking on the topic of DEI. And specifically, the title of your presentation is your HR organization ready for a DEI agenda? And you and I have talked about this, and I said, Dr. Tiffany, this audience, they want to do the right thing always. And so I think their answer reflexively is going to be yes. But tell me more about what you mean when you say ready, because that's a very specific state of being.
Absolutely. So readiness is an important concept. You could want to do something, but are you ready to? So it kind of just as a brief analogy, just to jump us in, is to think about that little baby that wants to walk. They will push and pull and do all kinds of things. They have the desire to walk, but their legs have maybe not been primed to be able to do that yet. So they develop a strength in their lower extremities that give them the ability to now plant their feet on the floor and take those steps. Readiness is pretty much the same. And when we think about how to prime ourselves for readiness, it really begins with our mind. It begins with the heart. It begins with the willingness and this notion of how can I be intentional about the things that I'm doing. So what I want to just kind of discuss with folks during our time is to say, are you ready and how can you analyze your readiness? I have some points, I have some ideas around it that are based on research, also things that are based on how you can analyze what's happening within the organizations in which you work and say, do we have the elements that are necessary to move us forward? How are we willing to ask ourselves the tough questions that may be uncomfortable? That's one form of readiness. Can I answer this question? Will I be willing to sit and grapple with the discomfort, knowing that as I push through that, there's going to be something greater on the other side. So that's just a brief idea of readiness and how you can analyze for yourself. Am I ready to do this? Do I have a peace about it? Do I feel like this is really the direction that my company, organization, team needs to take right now? And also, do I know why? So part of the readiness is identifying the why. Why are you doing it now? Is it because everybody else is doing it? Or because you've resolved within yourselves that this is important and here are the reasons why. So readiness also means identifying those points that say, this is why I'm doing it. And I'm not going to shrink back from that because I'm going to put my hand to the plow and keep going when it's uncomfortable, when it's challenging me. And when I feel like I'm getting stuck, I'm still going to push through those stuck points. So I think that just in brief, a presentation of those ideas, Jen, this is what I believe is important for us to consider. And I want to talk to folks about that. I want people to think through these ideas and begin to look at how they can apply it to where they are. Because every space is a little bit different. Every set of needs are different. And it's important to say, how can I take this and make some kind of connection for me, for our team, for our company, for our organization? And once they do that, I think that that's when they can say, yes, I really am ready and I'm doing it right now. So I think beyond the readiness piece is what are you doing? And here's how you can do it. Here's some evidence that you are doing it and moving forward.
And what does it mean?
Continual journey.
Yeah. And what does it mean to do something, right?
That's
because I think that's what I hear more than anything is good intention.
That's right.
But then how do I make that intention come alive? Or I've heard stories from our HR friends, and this is, who will be on this call, HR friends who they had a lot of passion and excitement, but they weren't probably ready, right? It's like the baby on wobbly legs. And so then when they met some resistance from their executive leadership, or when they were asked to, okay, great, you want to do something, what is it?
That's right.
They didn't have the foundation or the tools to then push it to the next, whatever it is, to the next step. And so this is about getting ready, right? You're going to help us
about getting ready. Absolutely. Get your legs strong. And also, how do you know if you've already taken some steps? Because there are maybe people on the call that, yes, they have taken some steps, but they're not sure, was that right? Was that a good thing to do? Because whenever you're in a space that's new or feels uncomfortable, you need some affirmation. You need some information. You need some confirmation. You need all of those things to say, I think I'm moving in the right direction. and recognizing that even the resistance can be sign that you're moving in the right, you're moving going forward. Resistance is a sign that this is not comfortable, but something is happening. So I want people to really just say, you know, I'm okay with this discomfort right now. And I'm encouraging other people around me to sit with it and say, this is an indication that we are really doing something that's positive for all of us, because we all benefit from an effective diversity, equity, and inclusive agenda. All of us do, because we're all in a world where there's so many differences, there's so many varieties, and each of us brings something very special and unique to the conversation. And it's up to us as the professionals, as the leaders, to say, I want your voice, because having your voice helps us to move forward.
Well, and here we are, you know, I'll timestamp this. We're recording this on May 27th, a week where our nation's been rocked by, you know, some horrific events and violence. And gosh, if we could step into those uncomfortable places and effectively have conversations that maybe we're going to meet resistance, but what if we could be brave and step in and say, I want to stand for something, and I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to bring some thoughts to the table, and let's find our way through this. And one of the things I so appreciate about you, Dr. Tiffany, is that you are a safe place to have those conversations. And I feel like there's no question that we can't ask you. And so I'm encouraging people, bring your questions.
Absolutely.
Because if the heart behind it is a desire to be part of moving the agenda forward and making the world a more equitable place for all people, we're here for it, right?
That's right. And every person has a part to play. That's what I think is so beautiful about this opportunity, where even a small thing that you do can make a big difference. It's not about size. It's not about quantity. It's really about the quality of move that you're making, and being committed to that with a heart and your hands engaged in this process. And I think that when we see evidence of that, it makes us all smile. It makes us all feel better, you know, as we even consider what's been happening in our world. As you mentioned, a lot of people have been affected. So even just showing up for them is just one way to say, I hear you. I understand. I don't understand, maybe because I've never experienced that, but I could just stand here with you. I don't have any words that can fix it, but I can do something. And what is that something? Identifying it and just being present to it.
Yeah, cool. Well, get ready, everybody. Get ready to join us on June 24th. We are going to, did I have that date right? Is it June? It's June 24th.
Yeah, it is. June 24th. Yeah.
Okay. I was second guessing myself. June 24th, we're going to have Dr. Tiffany Powell on our HR Hotspot program. As always, our program is pre-certified for HRCI and SHRM recertification credits. I am so glad to have you on the program. I'm glad you said yes. Thank you for your generosity. And I'm looking forward to all of you being there with us as part of this conversation. So you can sign up. We'll include a link where you can sign up today to make sure that you are part of that conversation. Thank you so much, Dr. Tiffany.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun.
Yay.